Hi everyone, this is Vicki, and I am here today with some paper napkin projects, and I have had a few people ask me to do a little tutorial on some beginning paper napkin how-tos. So let me just show you first of all some of the ones that have evolved, my paper napkin projects, and then I'll go to the very basics. So here are some cards that I've done. Okay, so just various cards, and I'm just going to briefly show you these really fast because just of what you can do. What you can do, really simple, to a little more complicated. This one seems to be popular. This is the same napkin, and all these are on my previous videos. I go through them and show you the ones that I've made. So this is I think the the one that piques most people's interest, and I think came out real pretty. I made several of these, gave away to some friends, and then there's these, a little more simple, and here we go with the envelopes. The coloring of the black and white napkin, and here is another one of those. The envelope, the napkin inside. This is one of my favorites, only because I love the napkin. Look at how pretty this scene is. I just want to do this. My future, is watercolor, pen and ink. I've always wanted to do that. So, but these are more closer to faux things. Postcards that I go to, I just gravitate to. Once I do one thing, then I try them in different ways, different things, different projects, and so those are some of the cards. Okay, then I'm going to show you some of the other. Oh, here's my latest card. Of course, you saw that in the latest video, but let me show you some other things. Oh, here, Christmas time, I did a series of Christmas paper napkin projects that I did. So I think it was January that I put a video out about these kind of things for Christmas. And then I did do this one that is the trifold envelope, and then I kept, I did like 3 or 4 on those because I kept tweaking it, finding different ways that I needed to go to do it differently. But this is a napkin, so I just wanted to show you that it takes you down several rabbit holes. And so this is 1 and 2 and 3 envelopes, and then I have it with the extender on the side to allow for holding of more cards. So I wanted to have them house cards or pictures, and so that's what I did with these. I also have a video on some sachets of lavender, and these were some of my favorite ones. And then I have a video explaining how I did that. I don't have a tutorial on any of these. However, if you'd like one, I could possibly do it maybe later because I have to make surgical masks. But first, I do have some projects that I want to finish videotaping about, and then get to surgical mask. But Yes, yes. So this one, and then this is this. These are my favorite ones. I like vintage, and then it smells so good. The lavender I got on Amazon, so you can look it up there if you want lavender. But I made these into like envelopes. I gave my mom several of these because she wanted to send it to her friends, and she wrote notes or she sent money or gift cards to people. And then this is the also the napkin. So this has the scent of lavender. So that is another idea. I did do this one because I was into the seed pocket thing. And these are little seed pocket. This is a napkin. So little seed pockets, and I love prim hearts, so I put it on here. Uh, then I attached two envelopes together and made this. This is actually one of the Target seed pockets. So you can put something in there. Have another prim heart, some lace. And I did show this one already also, but then I have a tag in here, and this is also one of the napkins. Okay, so several projects you can look at and decide on what you want to do. Let's see, maybe I could show. I think I showed most of those things. So there's several things like this. Okay, and I have a. Oh, this is one of my favorites too. I love this. This is napkin. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so you can put that in your drawer actually. Okay. Okay, so there's some things you could do. Other items are the book covers. Okay, what are these? Bookmarkers that I've made, collaged, and you could do tissue and napkins act pretty much the same, but these are with tissue, and I thought I gave them all away, but I think these really raggedy ones I put in that those booklets that I made. So it was hidden from me. But as you can see, you can do all kinds of stuff with your napkins, and it takes me further along. These are napkins on here, this pocket that I made to put in a book. You can use this as a bookmarker. So, yes, so you can do a lot of things with napkins. In fact, I haven't tried it, but you can put it on jars and decoupage, just it's endless. You can find it on Pinterest. You can probably find it on YouTube. There'll be hundreds and hundreds of ideas for you. But let's just start with doing. Let me find a napkin here that's not taken apart, so give you an idea. I have one in my hand, but let's see. Let's do something with little flowers. This is kind of a big flower. So I'm going to use this spring one because I've used it once, but I think this is you can easily see what to do with this. Okay, and you can use different kinds of papers. Well, let's just start with just a plain cardstock. This is plain cardstock. Not like copy paper, but you can use copy paper, but I'm going to just use plain 65-pound cardstock. And this is how you're going to separate the backing, because there's at least two white papers, white liners on here. So what you're going to do is, see what I did was let go. So of course, okay. So you're just going to put one end on it. It's real simple, and see how it comes up. So that's one layer, and then I'm going to take the other end of this and then stick it on here, and see if I can get a second layer. Usually there's two, most times two, sometimes just one, depends. I don't think I've ever come across with more than 2 of them, but there could be. So the second one usually is a little harder, but I don't want to rip it because then you know, waste the little flowers. Just going to pull that off. And you can save these in a little basket and use it as tissue, or you can use them for your, you know, it's kind of wasteful to throw them away, but use it for your glue, your ink, to blot up things. But now you have just one layer, and it's really nice. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to tear away parts away from the flower, so I can get each flower, utilize each flower. Sometimes I also will do 2. Okay, so you can tear away 2. So here's one that has 2, even 3, but you can take that one off too at a later time. And I like having this one yellow one. I like this yellow one. And you could just tear it away and use this one. Okay, so just start with a small piece. Let me just grab one of these smaller papers, because that's an awful big paper for that. Oh, I can even use this. Look, there's a little piece that's kind of long. Let me try that. So I use a glue stick, and this is Avery, which is it is washable, acid free. Okay, so I use this, and I'll use the small one for you know, smaller items, and the larger one, I use a lot of this larger one because I do the whole thing. Like this one, I did this large piece. It's like maybe a 5 by 4, and so 5 by 4 inches. So I'll use the larger stick to cover it. But if I'm going to use a smaller piece, then I'm going to just put it on. Let me see if I'll move these pieces of paper here, and I'll just have this one. So I'm gonna just do this, see? And it dries clear. So I want to do the longer piece, so I'm just going to lay it down. And I'm going to burnish it, which means like rub it out, because there's those little tiny bumps on the paper. You see the little tiny bumps? And that's just smoothing it out. Smoothing out the little tiny bumps. Okay, where I didn't cover, notice I can just raise it, and I'm going to just lay it down. Okay, so that way you can do small pieces, and then you can actually add that to this as a collage piece, like so. You can have another one. Let's see, I'm going to be off frame. Okay, another one. Let's do another one here and stick it on here. And you can use this piece with something else. I like that little bit of a wording there. If you don't like that, you can always turn it over on the side. So these are little pieces that I would just put aside, and then I'd add it to something. So if I was making a card, I'd get a card, and I could just add it to, let me get a card. See if I have one. I think oh, here's one. Okay. So I have a card, and then I could add these here. I could put a background, and so that brings these two together. the colors together. You know, there's a lot of things you could do. I'd play with that, see what I'd like. I can make these have a border. So I could just cut this and it'd have a little pink border. So I'm just going to cut around the edges so it, and you could make it straight if you like. I mean, you know, this is going to be, I didn't measure it or anything, but you could do that if you like that style of being perfectly straight and crisp and clean. Or you can do that. You see how that turns out like this with the border? Okay, so say you want, I'm just going to lay this down on here. Say you want a larger piece. You can see how nice and finished that looks with a border around it. Okay, say you want something in the background that's kind of different. Let me see if I can find something. You can use just regular paper. I don't have anything quite laying around here for me. I have lots of little papers, little pieces of papers. I wonder if I could use this. You could layer it with pieces, other pieces. Looks like I stamped on here. I wrote on here. What's on the back? I don't know. And you can start making it look interesting. But the background, do you see how this one has a background? That might be good. So I might even want to do that. Here's a rabbit. Okay, that's a napkin. And we're going to do the same thing. This is one of those guest towel napkins. You know how it is like this? It's a little difficult for you to see, I'm sorry. But you can take this and then you just take your Scotch tape, and we're going to do this again and give you a good idea how this works again. Okay, and this is pretty much already come apart, so then you're just going to see how I'm taking it apart like this. So then you're going to just pull it apart carefully because you don't want to rip it. Okay, so I've got my rabbit, and I've got some background too. So I might want to use that rabbit on here. Make a card, an Easter card with this rabbit. Isn't that cute? We could do that. Okay, so we don't really want, let's see, if we do this, it doesn't really fit in the back. So let's just do a front and do this whole thing. So I'm going to tear this apart so that, I'm sorry, I have to do that off screen because I don't have space. But let me show you. I'm just tearing it off. Tearing the piece off. And what I'm going to do is put this on here. And luckily it fits. Luckily it fits. Okay, so I'm going to do this with a large piece. And you want to make sure that you have glue on the whole thing. Otherwise what happens is that it will have bubbles. Or it's going to have, like, won't stick. So take your time and really try to get as much, but not too much glue on there. And then I'm going to lay this on here. See if I can get you. I am going to center it and lay this down at this bottom. And don't worry, if you make a mistake on your card, you can always cut the card and then use it as a panel on another card. Maybe you don't get that. I will show you. If I made a mistake, things you can do instead of, saying the card's not going to work. Okay, so this is on there really nicely, right? Look at the difference, these two differences. This is without the deli paper. It's nice and bright. It's really pretty. And this is with the deli paper. It kind of gives it a matte finish that looks kind of like vintage. So that's with the deli paper on it, and this is without. You could try tracing paper. It's a little bit thicker than deli paper, but I think it will work. So that's what that looks like. Now the thing is, you're going to have to tear away at this without it being, because it's very difficult. You can cut it, I suppose, but I think what I'm going to do is cut this so it's not a card. It would just be a panel, okay? Because maybe, say I made a mistake or something. So I'm going to get my metal ruler, and I'm going to try to just cut away at this here, and hopefully I won't get the napkin part that's glued on there. Okay, so I didn't. Okay, that works out pretty good. Now I can either do this whole thing and fold it up like this, or I can save some, which I think I will. I think I'm going to cut this part off, and I'll show you what it happens if you do it with the metal ruler. Sometimes it doesn't cut, so maybe you'll want to use the scissors. So I want to leave a little bit of a lap over, so I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to just tear it, okay, like so. So it's not tearing exactly. You can do it by hand, and then I'm going to flap it over. Okay, the other way you can do it is use this type of brush pen. This is a Pentel one, but they have these in Hobby Lobby has them, maybe Michael's or Joann's has it. I don't want to have it that close to the edge because I want to have a lap over. So I'm going to use this and then tear away. So I'm just showing you different ways you can, and this is going to leave kind of a torn edge on it. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue stick on here and fold the edges over, and then I'm going to do the other side. And then I'll do this. And see, this is a little long up here, so I'm just going to tear it apart because this is the back side. It's not going to show on the back. And it's already folded over, so I may even, rather than risk it, just cut this one little piece. Okay, so that's going to go on the back, and see how this looks. Now then, when you have a card, you can, this is a small card, okay, this is even also small, but what I'm saying, you can put it on top of a card, and better for it to be a little bit bigger so that you can have a border. All those, of course, are smaller than I'd like. Let's see if I have a larger one. 1 second. Okay, so here's some cards that are 5x7s. So you can put it on here. These are 5x7, and it's bordered, and it looks really pretty. So you can put it on there and just glue that on. You can put a border around here. You can die cut something and to have a little border that's cut out. You could put some more paper in the background so that it has a different color. You can use a pink paper, and that would be pretty too. Make a card, a pink paper, and that would be pretty. There's a lot of things you could do, but that's basically how you put your paper onto your napkin paper onto onto the cardstock and get it ready for any of the other projects that I've made. So if you have any other questions about this, just leave a message, and I can make a second video for the second step of whatever project that you would like to see or have me make, or so it gives you a better idea of how to make it yourself. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye bye.